What's that? Free rules. Better than the other companies' ones, fantasy and science fiction. Army lists as well, all free. You're having a laugh, aren't you? What do you mean it's true? Yeah, give us a butcher's. Let's have a look. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be doing a product review and also a battle report for a product from onepagerules, website at onepagerules.com. This is a place where you can get your fantasy and science fiction wargaming rules and army lists without having to pay a fortune and having to repurchase all these army books and rule books too frequently, and constantly fighting against meta, where a new army is released or a new army book's released and it's always more powerful. These guys on onepagerules, they're trying to avoid this and give us a nice, fair, comprehensive set of rules. Now there are, like I say, fantasy and science fiction. They also do their own set of miniatures which you can use. I think they do as STL files for 3D printing, but you can also buy from places like Etsy, where people will print them for you. But today I want to have a look at this product. This is a product that is aimed at beginners, but also for people who want to try a new army before they purchase all the miniatures. They want to see what the army is like without having to spend a fortune. So this is basically what I'm doing. I bought this product from DriveThruRPG, like I say, from onepagerules. It's called Dark Retribution. It is a Age of Fantasy Skirmish starter set. Now, Age of Fantasy is their rule set for fantasy, and there are different versions. You have Age of Fantasy, you have Age of Fantasy Regiments, I think, and Age of Fantasy Skirmish. Now, these are essentially the same set of rules, but modified for size of battle. So for example, Skirmish are the rules where you have a low model count. Age of Fantasy Regiments, I think, is the one for very large battles, very large model counts. But this is for Skirmish, and you're going to play this with a few figures each. Now, this is, I honestly can't remember how much I paid for this. I'll put a note at the top how much I paid for it. I'll look it up and make a note at the top here. But in this starter set, you get everything you need to start playing war games using the onepagerules rules. You'll get figures, you'll get terrain, you'll get rules, you'll get army cards. So everything's there. And like I say, onepagerules, they're quite similar to a very well-known rule set in terms of fantasy and science fiction. I'm not going to say which one because I might get struck by the company in question. But they offer an alternative, a cheap, easier alternative, and in my opinion, in my humble opinion, a lot more balanced. Now, there are a lot of free to download stuff on the website. You have army lists that are free to download. You have the basic rules, which are free to download. Now, I have printed and bound the Skirmish one, so Age of Fantasy, and also the Grimdark Future, which is the science fiction one. I did it in black and white to save a little bit of money. But these are the basic rules that you can get for free from their website. But this is also included within the starter set. You also get the basic rules within the starter set. But that's not what you're paying the money for. Because what you're getting is everything you need. You get 2 basic armies. You get everything you need to actually start playing the game. So you will get the basic rules. You can pay more for the full set of rules, which gives you a lot more. So for example, like here, you can see that the rules are split into 3 parts. You have basic, which is this is the free one, which is what's in this book, and also what you get in the starter set. You then have advanced rules, and you also have total conversions. Now, these are ones that you get in the purchase rules. It's a bigger It's a bigger document. There's more stuff in it. Like I say, the free one is just the basic rules. You pay, again, I can't remember how much it is. I think it's $5. I have to check and put the value here. But you can actually buy the full rule set on DriveThruRPG or on onepagerules, and you can actually get more stuff like extra missions, terrain placement, random events, fog of war, critical hits. So these are for the full game. But like I say, the free one that we can use to test is all up here. Yeah, it's in this book. I can't remember how many pages. How many pages is it? It's not a lot of pages because I have a lot of army books at the back, army lists at the back. So it is about 16 pages, Yeah, so that's what you get in here. You basically get the free rules within this starter set. You also get, you get an intro page, yeah, with the specific contents for this starter set. And you also get a page of basically how to use what's in the set. So how to use the figures and what the army contains and everything else. All right, so this is just a guide in terms of what's in the starter set. After this, after these first couple of pages, you will basically get, in your PDF, you will get the starter rules. What else do you get? Well, you also get some terrain. 3 pages of terrain. Now I've printed this on card. I will be putting this onto mounting card to make it a little bit thicker and sturdier. And these are terrain, 2D terrain that you can put on your table to represent walls, fields, crates, ruins, and vegetation, maybe some trees. Now, if you prefer 3D, not a problem. Yeah, you don't need to use these, but they're here if you just want to pick it up and play. In the battle report, I will be using these. I'm basically just going to be using the starter set to show you what comes in the set and what they can look like, what you can expect. Don't turn your noses up just because it's 2D. It works. What else do you get? Well, you also get army cards. Now, you'll get one for each army. Now, the armies in question are the Mummified Undead and the Kingdom of Angels. These are 2 of the armies for Age of Fantasy Skirmish. And in the starter set, you will get the army cards for the figures in the starter army for the Kingdom of Angels. You have an Angel Tyrant, Swordsman, Crossbowman, and Panther Riders. The Swordsman and the Crossbowman are units, so you will be having more than one. We'll see the figures in a minute, you can see how many. For the Mummified Undead, you have the Priestess, Skeleton Swordsman, Skeleton Archers, Mummies, and Guardian Statues. There's also a card for the spells. I don't think it's Mummy spells, I think it's the Priestess spells. And there's also a card for special rules. Now these cards, you can get blank cards from the website as a free download, but basically they're taking the units from the army lists. Now these are the army lists, the full army lists that you can download from the website. If we turn them over, you have all the different units and heroes here, their stats, their skills, and also, equipment and skills. You also have upgrades and cost. And then you have all this stuff down here, all the upgrades, all the notes. So everything that you need for each army is here on 2 sides of A4, 1 page. That's one complete army. Some companies, they want to sell you 100-page books for exorbitant amounts of money. But here, it's all just on 1 piece of A4. That's the army. Not as flashy. Doesn't have a lot of lore and history and stories and pretty artwork, but it does the job. It's an army list. It has all the rules. It has everything you need on that 1 page. So this is the Mummified Undead, and this is the Kingdom of Angels. Now, what I like with this starter set is that if you look at the army list from the website, it's much kind of like European medieval style design for the angels. But if you read the piece of lore here, you kind of get the feeling that it's not English in inspiration. It's not French or Spanish in inspiration. It's Persian or Babylonian. That's what strikes me as the inspiration for that army, the Kingdom of Angels. And I love the way that in this starter set, they've actually used Persian as an inspiration for this army. Nice job, nice job. So you get the army cards, which put all the information from those army lists for the units that you have here on here. What else do we have? Well, the last thing you get are the figures. Now, you will be getting a number of pages of these cardstock figures. Now, again, I can hear the cardstock. It's for beginners. It's for people who don't have the figures, who've just started. It's for people who want to test an army without having to spend a fortune on those figures. We love the figures. I have thousands and thousands of figures, but these do serve a purpose. And when they're done well, they can look really good. Now I'm going to be constructing these and making these and putting them onto the battlefield for the battle report, because these are actually two armies that I don't have. I don't have Kingdom of Angels. I don't have an army of anything like that. Mummified Egyptians, or mummified, what are they called? Mummified undead. I used to have some models of that nature, but I got rid of them. So again, I don't have these armies. So this is a good way for me to test whether I like these armies enough to actually purchase the figures. Now again, one page rules, they do have their own range of figures. Like, if I remember correctly, they do have Mummified Undead as one of their ranges, and they look awesome. They really do look nice, but they're not cheap. So use these starter sets, these very cheap starter sets, use them to test first and see whether that's really the army that you want to spend a fortune on. Because I've done this before. A new army's come out for a certain game. I've looked at it and gone, wow, I've spent a fortune on the figures. And then when I'm playing it, I'm finding that it's not really my style. I've wasted a ton of money. And even if I sell it to somebody else, I'm losing money. This is a way for us to test first, or for new players to test and see whether this game's what they want. So you will get a page of the Kingdom of Angels, and you will also get 2 pages for the Mummified Undead. So you'll have the mummies, the archers, sorry about the light, the archers and the swordsmen. So it looks like you'll be getting 6 swordsmen, skeleton swordsmen in your army, 3 skeleton archers in your army. There'll be a unit of 5 mummies, and 3 of these guys. I forget what these were called. Statues, guardian statues. Yeah, so you'll get 3 of these, all different designs, and you have the Lich Priestess, or the Mummy Priestess. Now, again, another thing, in the PDF, you'll be getting these. So there's basically 3 pages of standee figures. Again, don't turn your nose up. These things do have a purpose. Yeah, they're not as good as miniatures, I grant you. I know that. But they do have a purpose. They do have a reason for being. So you have 3 pages, 1 for Kingdom of Angels and 2 for the Mummified Undead. However, you also get an option. You can have this style, or in the PDF, they also give you this style, which has these large black borders around the figures. Now, these are to try and help if you cut around the figure. Yeah? The black lines are basically there to reduce the amount of white. Yeah? But the thing is, they don't look as good, to be honest. Especially the darker figures with the black. I don't know whether these are going to actually cut out as nice, or, I mean, again, look here. To use this properly, you're going to have to cut out the black. On the white, I don't know whether I'd actually bother to cut out. I don't think I'd actually bother to cut out in between the bow and the arrow here. I don't know whether I'd actually bother to cut that part out on the white, but on the black, I think you'd have to. You've got no choice. But it gives you the option. It gives you both sets, and I've printed out both sets, so you can choose which one you want to use. So that's what you get in this PDF. you get a fair amount for the money. I mean, really what you're paying for is the figures and the terrain, because the army lists and the rules you can download for free from the website. So is this worth the money? Well, I don't know yet. I need to put it all together and see whether it's worth the money. But this is by an indie producer. It's not by one of the big companies. So it's always worthwhile, sending a bit of money towards these guys so they can continue what they're doing. At the moment, I think it's a decent price for what you get. But let's put together the terrain. Let's cut these out and put these onto some board. And let's put together the miniatures. I know I've missed one. There it is. Let's put together these miniatures, and we will play the game and see how it runs. Now, the rules themselves are actually very simple, even though the rules, the rule book here, the starter rule book here is about 16, 17 pages. The reason they're called one-page rules is because the basic rules can fit on a double-sided page. Yeah, you don't have to. What's the word? You don't have to have this book with you all the time. The rules do actually fit on just one page, which again you can download for free from the website, and I think it's also included in here. These are the basic rules, one side of A4. You turn it over, and here are all the special rules and little bits and pieces that you also need to know. This is all you really need. Yeah? When you're playing, you just need this. Yeah? One page rules. The book is there to explain what the rules mean clearly, with examples, with pictures. So it's worth having this, definitely. And like I say, it's a free download for the basic rules. If you really like the game, then upgrade to the full rulebook. I haven't done that yet because I haven't played this game yet. This will be my first time playing one-page rules. So I've just got the basic rules to begin with, and I want to test it. And I've got the starter set to test it with 2 armies that I don't have. So what this review and game report is going to do is twofold. One, to review the product, to see if the product's any good. Second, is to see if these armies are worth investing in, whether I actually want to start collecting these armies next. So let's play a game. Let's play Dark Retribution, this starter set, the Kingdom of Angels versus the Mummified Undead. Let's put the figures together, let's put the terrain together, let's get a game board up, and let's play a game and see how the rules work. Come back in a couple of secs. Have a quick cup of tea and come back in a couple of secs. And we'll have our battle report, Dark Retribution by One-Page Rules. Okay, work in progress on the figures. I've cut all of the basic ones there. They just need to be glued and folded over. Now I've scored all the lines so they can just be folded over. So these are all ready to go. I have based the terrain pieces now, so they're on this mountain board or mounting card, so they're quite sturdy now. So I have all of the terrain pieces done. I've printed out and cut all of the unit cards for each army. I'll probably put these into some card sleeves like the magic ones. And then here I used 3 of the other design. I'm using the basic design, I think, for the army, but I'm using the ones with the thick black outline, which are designed to help cut. I've just done 3 here to show you the options that you have in these using these paper standees. This one here is basically a triangular fold, sturdy but not probably the worst looking. Second option here, sorry, this one is just a sort of fold over and then fold back here to make it stand. The third option is to do the same as the second one, but here you cut around the figure. Not easy. Using a knife is a bit hard to do sort of arcs and curves. It's a bit difficult to do nicely with a knife, so I use scissors for most of these, and then just use a knife for the small parts. I'm thinking that it looks better maybe if I don't try to cut these small parts out, just to leave it like this. Now, like I say, at the moment I'm thinking of doing these ones because I thought they looked nicer without all the black. But what I'll do is I will do the same models which are here. I'll do these guys in this format because I prefer this. I think this is the best way to do it, that they look the nicest. So what I'll do is I will do these this way, and I will compare what these look like compared to the one with the black outline and see which one actually looks better after I've cut it. Because the black outline, to be honest, once you've cut it all out, it's not too bad. It doesn't look too bad, and it does actually give that black border, which is maybe something that I need. Here I was planning on having like a thin white border, like these have the thin black border, or thick here, but after you cut it, it's thin. So I'll do these in this style and see how they look, and then make a decision whether I want to keep using these ones or whether I will use this design, in which case I need to print this page again because I can use that one. I can't use this one. So yeah, let's see how it goes. So basically the terrain pieces are ready, the cards are ready, the figures are on the way. So yeah, progress report. Alright, so I did the sort of standard design, the design that looks like this. Sorry, get it in focus. Yep, so I did the one of this. I mean, these are the alternative design, the one with the black lining, which is supposed to help you when you cut them out, get sort of good alignment and get more of the picture. But I prefer this, stands out a lot better than this. So what I did is I actually cut out the sort of Horus-headed statue. So you got the thick black line one on the left, and you have the sort of standard design like this on the right here. And a couple of things. First of all, cutting this one was actually easier than cutting this because I could see all the details a lot clearer. The black lines tended to hide the edges and little parts on the edge a lot more than on here, so I could actually make a better cut in terms of keeping the detail and being closer on this style here. Second thing, I think this looks better with the white, because like I said, I'm not going to cut out each of these interior parts, and I think the white looks better than the black here. And yeah, like I said before, on this one, the edging lining of the picture is very clear on this, whereas here it's kind of blurred into the black. So after this test, I think I'll be going with this design here. So I'll continue with these and all the rest. And thankfully I won't have to print again. So these ones I'll just use as just examples, but these are the ones that I'll be using in the battle. Okay, battle report coming up soon. Okay, so also in the Dark Retribution set, the pack, you also get some tokens, 2 pages. You get them coloured, but you also get them in black and white. But there's no explanation in terms of what they represent, so I'm assuming that these are activation tokens. These are wound counters, single wound, triple wound. I'm assuming these ones, I don't know, maybe route. I'm not sure what that one means. On the second page, we do have some icons which have the same symbol as the spell card. So I'm assuming that maybe these ones here are something to do with you use them to indicate units affected by a spell, maybe. This one, I'm not sure, maybe a clock counter because it only goes up to 6, maybe. These ones, again, I don't know what these ones are. possibly objective markers. I don't know whether these or these could be objective markers. I think you need stunned markers as well, but again, I'm not exactly sure which of these would be the stunned markers. Maybe these ones? But yeah, you also get these in the PDF, but like I say, I'm not exactly sure what half of them are, and I'm kind of just guessing what the others are, because I can't find anything online or anything on the documents that actually tells me what they're for or what they're supposed to actually represent. Like I say, I'm kind of assuming that the green ones here are activation and these are wounds, but for the rest, I really don't know.